Happy Friday, everyone. We're here. We've made it. Happy Friday, June 18th, 2021. We are recording live today. So if you are with us live, tell us who you are in the chat, where you're from. We would love to meet you and answer any questions that you might have throughout the day, or even follow-up questions that you have from throughout the week. If you are watching the recorded version, welcome. Feel free to use the blue chat box at the bottom of the page, and someone from the Rebelle team will get back to you ASAP. Thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time here with us for this week-long summer showcase, feel free to peruse the pre-recorded videos below you on this page. You will see everything from earlier this week and a conversation we've had last month even as well. We hope that you have received some wonderful ideas for your fall programming, no matter what that looks like, even if you are still waiting on the powers that be on what you're allowed to do. We understand the hurry up and wait situation that comes to a lot of our lives. So if this is your first time, my name is Melissa Beer, and I am your friendly agent and the owner of Rebelle Events. We're based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Our primary goal with Rebelle Events is to bring communities together through live events and virtual events, as we learned through 2020. We always want to leave any space that we take up better for us having been there. For any of our acts, for any of our experiences, we want to make sure that we're giving everybody a top-notch experience. So we're community junkies. So whether or not it's to get together to learn or to be inspired or just to have fun and put the heavy weight of the world down for a second, we're all in for that. We love that. So with that, let's get started, and stick around because I will be making an announcement at the end of this for the winner of a $25 gift card from those who had registered for the event. So tune in, stick around. With that, let's begin. Our first guest today is a very funny comedian. He has been seen on MTV Last Night with John Oliver and is the co-creator of the viral sensation Coincidence. Everyone, help me welcome Matt Pavich. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Melissa. How are you doing?
My shoulders instantly start shaking every time wow, you can really dance.
Yeah, my shoulder still hurts from all the times I've done it, but I'm retired. I'm retired from the shoulder dance, I think.
You are. I could have, well, things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps having weird resurgences on TikTok and all these Chinese websites. So who knows?
I love it. Well, it's an instant earworm for me. I love it. So if you all have not seen the Coincidence video, you can see it on Matt's page on our website at that link there. So Matt, how have you been? How we're coming out of this. We're making it. We're doing it.
Yeah, it's a real renaissance. I'm in New York, and it's been beautiful to watch everything reopen and comedy come back. Thank God, live stand-up is back. They're doing really cool, like vaccinated-only shows, and they're doing their best to just keep everybody safe, but keep comedy alive. And it feels so good to be back on stage and just doing what I love.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And you've come through it, and we've all, I feel like we've all had to maybe pay some extra special attention to our mental and physical and spiritual health and all of that through all of this.
Oh yeah, it's been a journey, to say the least. I was shacked up, in New York, in the apartment with my girlfriend and a cat that we adopted, which was very cute. Taking care of an animal really is great for your mental health, and it's been a wild ride, a wild year. But I keep telling everyone we're in a renaissance period now. It's gonna be a great summer, and I'm hoping that my word is true.
Good. I couldn't agree with you. I do believe truly that this, with the amount of time that we've had to kind of force ourselves to be creative, it really is so beautiful. And it lends itself to all of us to be able to almost like try and fail safely. I don't know if that makes sense, but like we're just throwing things against the wall to see if they stick, and we're all about it.
Yeah, I agree. I started a podcast. I was shooting videos with my girlfriend by ourselves on the iPhone, just putting things out, and people were liking them, so that was cool. But yeah, I mean, just trying anything in this weird time was a real wild card.
Totally. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier that obviously we had to make sure that we were minding our business when we were during COVID, as far as eating well and that sort of thing to stay in shape. What did you discover with all of that?
Well, I gained 15 pounds, and then I lost it all. But I have like weird food allergies that I just learned about. Like I'm allergic to avocados and
Bummer.
potatoes. And people like never believe me when I tell them I'm allergic to potatoes. And I'm like, why would I make up an allergy? Like who makes up allergy? And then they do this, they just list everything I can't have. Like I don't remember what has potatoes in it. So just like, wait, so French fries? You can't have French fries? What about potato chips? Can you have potato chips? No, what about mashed potatoes? What about if you mash them up? You ever try to mash them? If you mash them, you ever try to mash them? No, what about gnocchi? You can't have gnocchi? Oh my God, I love gnocchi. Gnocchi? You can't have gnocchi? Gnocchi? I'm like, there's one ingredient in all the things that you just said, and it's the thing I said I can't have. You would never do that to an alcoholic, right? Some guy's like 30 years sober, haven't touched the stuff. You're like, not even a dessert wine? Can you still take communion? It's an awful, awful allergy. And people have dumb jokes for it. Like I was at an Irish pub before all this COVID, and the lady was like, oh, you would have been fine during the potato famine. I was like, no, I would not have been. It was a famine. People were famished. And my mom doesn't think it's a real thing. My mom thinks I'm making up this allergy for like, I don't know what reason. And she's like, you should just eat a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Every day you build up an immunity. Your body develops the enzymes to break down I read it in a magazine. I was like, yeah, Mom, why don't you put a little Clorox in your coffee every morning? Not a lot, just a little bit. Develop immunity for the apocalypse. She doesn't believe in allergies. We didn't have allergies when I was a kid. I'm like, well, we have allergies now, Mom. Get over it.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm sorry about the potatoes.
It's awful. Yeah.
Well, everyone, Matt Pavich, follow him on the socials at the address below. Please check him out on our website. He would love to perform for you in person, virtual, hybrid, whatever it is you need. We'll talk a little bit more about what all that looks like. Matt is one of our vaccinated and proud roster mates. Woo! So if you have any vaccination requirements,
Pfizer, that's a good one.
Real pumped to visit. So thank you, Matt. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy weekend.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye-bye. All right. Thanks, Matt. Oh, potatoes are like a whole food group for me. Bless him. All right, let's keep this going. We've got another comedian to share with you today. He is a singing comedian, actually based out of Los Angeles. He's a college pro. He's done tons and tons and tons of college shows, and he really kind of killed this virtual game as well in the best way possible. So with that, I would like to welcome to the virtual stage Mr. Brian O'Sullivan. Hello.
Hey Melissa, how are you?
Brian, I'm so good. How are you?
Oh, just living my best life in my room still for the time being.
But you're in LA, and I hear that things are open in LA now and you can do things.
Yeah. It's weird because there's still like 25% of the people when I'm walking my dog in the morning, like 25% of people are just wearing their masks, just walking still. So I assume if I see someone with a mask, they're vaccinated, but also I just feel like they're being polite. That's maybe just my tiny little bubble of Santa Monica, but that's my assumption.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm still a mask wearer because it's a habit now. I can't even, it's just what I do. I grab my keys.
Mine's actually in my back pocket right now as I'm like in my room, just in case I were like, oh, I need it right now.
Totally. Yeah. So now you're a singing comedian and we could talk about it all day long, but I think it's best if you just show us what you got. So you've got some things set up for us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, I do funny songs, original songs, parodies of songs. For those who don't know what parodies are, it's where you take original song and then you change the lyrics and make it silly. So here's an example of that. Hopefully you've heard of Miley Cyrus. This is a parody to one of her old songs, "Party in the USA." This is a song all about what I like to do with my friends in the US and A. It goes like this. Hopped in the back of an unmarked van with 3 of my closest friends. Welcome to the bestest heist of your life. Whoa, is everybody in? Drive to the bank, here we go, we rehearsed it. Cock my gun and get ready to grab purses. We exchange calm glances. Here we go, take our chances. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda nauseous. Put on my makeup cause I'm cautious. Then the driver of the van put the van in park. And I put my black shirt on. And I put my black gloves on. And I put my ski mask on. I said put your hands up and give me your cash. And then I'm gonna run away. Not in my head like yeah. Robbing a bank like, yeah. I said, put your hands up and give me your jewels or else you will die today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've been part of a robbery. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've been part of a robbery. Let's move right along to another parody. A few years ago, I wrote a parody to that song, Call Me Maybe, all about the 80s, because 80s rhymes with maybe, and sometimes it's as simple as just rhyming a word rather than being creative, and that's what I did. And it was this whole song about the 80s, and I realized most people that I perform for these days don't really remember the 80s. So I wrote a parody to my parody all about the 90s, and played that for a couple years, and then I realized a lot of people that I'm performing to these days no longer remember the 90s. So I wrote a parody to my parody of a parody of Call Me Maybe, which is just way too many levels of Inception, I think, even for Christopher Nolan. All about the early 2000s. So this is a song all about the early 2000s. We'll see how much of this anyone remembers. I got a BlackBerry phone, so I take selfies alone while reading Junie B. Jones. Nolan's Batman began it. Got Heelys on my feet, Zoop house plates while I eat. I just sent out my first tweet, says Pluto's not a planet. Vote on American Idol. I have nearly every Bratz doll. Keep rewatching High School Musical. Zac Efron is such a baby. Hey, would you rather buy Uggs or Webkins? This North Face jacket's from the 2000s. The Jonas Brothers went to the year 3000, while Big Time Rush was in the 2000s. Before I downloaded music on iTunes legally, I'd use Napster for free while wearing new etnies. I still remember when Wiimotes broke our HD TV. We got a 360, RIP DVDs and CDs. Back when Miley Cyrus showed a lot less skin, Hannah Montana was so 2000s, and Harry Potter made lots of millions. I lost my moon shoes in the 2000s. Dora the Explorer would help with learning. Soy de la Deca, the day 2000s. I used to know all Soulja Boy songs word for word. When chillax was a verb, I'd watch Phineas and Ferb. The early 2000s were dope. I love them a lot. Don't dare call them the aughts. They were the 2000s. So yeah, that's layered for me as far as remembering which version I'm doing at any given time. I'm playing the 90s, 80s, or 2000s version. I'm going to do this. Is the original song I wrote, and it's kind of topical for me. So I figure if it's topical, let's do it. Being a comedian in the year 2021 is it's strange. PC is affecting society, is affecting comedy. And like there are more women in charge today than there have ever been in the past. There's more diversity in general in power. More people of color, gay, non-binary, transgendered. And with all these changes, it's hard for me not to reflect upon how hard it is to be a straight white man in the world today. So this is a song that's more of a list. Of all the difficulties the straight white man faces in the world in the year 2021, pay attention. Yeah, that's the deepest truth song I have. I'm gonna do one more song for you guys and then head out here. This is sometimes I do raps. I got hired a few years ago for a YouTube channel, The Warp Zone, to write a rap all about Harry Potter, and they wanted me to write a 4-minute rap encompassing all 8 Harry Potter movies. I'd only seen the movies one time, so I'm just gonna give you a little sample of this version of this rap I wrote. So it's just gonna go through the first 2 movies and a chorus. Not that the chorus is not from the movie, but hopefully this works. I have been trying all morning to make the sounds work correctly, but yeah, this is my Harry Potter recap rap of the films, and it goes like this. Once upon a time in 1991, lived a wizard named Harry whose dad and mom were killed by he who must not be named, or Voldemort for short, so Harry hops on a train. Off to Hogwarts, meets Hermione and Ron. The Sorting Hat swords, and they get some Quidditch on a 3-headed doggy guards. The Sorcerer's Stone grants immortality to the person that owns it. Harry and his friends find the dog asleep, then fight a plant, play chess, avoid flying keys. Professor Quirrell's got a turban on his head, which is hiding Voldemort. Harry touches him, he's dead. Voldemort's soul knocks Harry out, then he's gone. But Harry is protected by a spell from his mom, which means Voldemort can't harm her only son, so I guess that story's gonna go on and on. Year 2 starts with a warning from Dobby, a letter-stealing elf with the hopes of stopping Harry from returning, but he doesn't follow orders. They take the flying car from flat 9 3/4, then they crash in, get detention. A message in blood is written. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened, beware, but this only applies to enemies of the air, and that is when the kids begin to wonder who is Slytherin. Harry speaks snake, which confuses them a little, then he stumbles upon the diary of Tom Riddle. It seems Tom Riddle might have killed Moni Myrtle, who's the ghost of a bathroom man. Ginny's in the middle of a ritual when Harry gets in, kills a basilisk to save his future girlfriend. Harry Potter's a classic tale of good and evil. What is right, not what is easy, unless you're a lame muggle. And there's a whole bunch more to that song, but for time's sake, that's the gist.
Bravo, bravo. I get so tongue-tied, like leaving a message. I can't.
My biggest fear is that I slur words in that song. It's like, oh no, everyone needs to hear every single word. It's there on purpose.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Brian, for showing us a little bit of what you got. I know I appreciate your willingness to poke fun at yourself, but also kind of call out some heavy issues and some realness. But also like pulling our favorite heartstrings of our favorite fun things to think about too.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. And Brian is also available. He's done a lot of virtual shows and is happy. And you performed through the pandemic too. Some in-person shows as well. So Brian's another one who's willing to follow any rules that might be in place for
I'm
your
also
campus.
Fully vaccinated too, Pfizer as well as Matt. So
I'm on Team Moderna, but I'm
so is my sister. So I don't. I no hate. All love.
So anyway, if there are any special accommodations that your campus requires for visitors, we're all happy to play by those rules, and Brian as well. So thank you so much. Oh, and go follow Brian on the socials right there. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. So before we get to our next 2 events, I just wanted to talk a little bit. I've mentioned a little bit about, in-person and virtual and hybrid events and how that works. Sometimes it's important to remember that, for our virtual events, it's not just because we have to, but that's because how people like to consume entertainment, right? Sometimes, we might have students or community members with families and they can't duck out at 7 o'clock. So they'd still like to participate, but maybe in a different way. So that's when we might be able to think about some hybrid options. I know a lot of colleges and universities have really increased their investment on technology on campus. If that's you and you want to still use it, awesome. If it's not you, but you want to use it, talk to us and we can help put something like that together for a hybrid show. So always willing to do that. And again, like we learned last year, we understand that rules and regulations and benchmarks and things like that might change quickly. We're happy to work with you on whatever it looks like whenever you know what that is. So keep us posted. We're always willing to hop in the sandbox and play, right? We just want to be invited. So Matt and Brian both actually were both really integral parts in this next act that I'm going to talk about. I know College Trivia Nerds was one of our really popular kind of come to the rescue services for virtual events. And as we moved along, Brian and Matt both played a part in College Trivia Nerds as well. So I want to introduce you, College Trivia Nerds, and the founder of College Trivia Nerds, Mr. Jason Hofsess. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Welcome to the virtual stage.
Yeah, this is great. I'm glad I don't have to perform.
Yes, well, this is your performance. So
well,
get ready.
Don't judge me. Yeah.
So College Trivia Nerds was in I remember March 5th and 6th were kind of tricky days, kind of tricky moments, right, for all of us. And College Trivia Nerds was, obviously we were working together before this, but College Trivia Nerds is a content writing service, trivia content writing service. It's the most affordable thing in the space that you can find, but it essentially does all the heavy lifting for folks, right? Mm-hmm. So you were already uploading all of your trivia content that your team was writing into the Kahoot format. So it was an easy thing to help folks imagine the virtual piece of that, right?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 12 hours later that we actually had our first virtual event, from the moment that everybody panicked and said, "Oh my God, the end of the world is coming," and we were able to just do it right away. We even before the pandemic, we had virtual events that were played. So yeah,
right. And this is a really wonderful hybrid, possibility as well. We can. College Trivia Nerds can be presented in a traditional format, what I like to think more analog. If you were going to a restaurant with your friends, you were going to sit down and pen to paper trivia, we can do that. And your team provides all the scorecards, questions, answers, all that good stuff. Yeah. Or we can keep it through Kahoot, and that's easy enough to do as well.
For sure. Yeah. All you need to do is have, if you're going to do it in person, you need someone to run it. You can do it. We built it so it's easy to run. We have training videos online, so you know exactly what to do. You can have a host, a celebrity host like Matt or Brian, or even like a household name celebrity, like someone from The Office could run our office trivia or things like that. So we've had lots of really, really famous, not to belittle your roster, but people that are really well known. And hopefully Matt and Brian get there one day.
Yeah, it is really a lot of fun, depending on how you want to facilitate the event. We partnered with Jolene Chevalier of How To Concerts, and she can help find any celebrity host you'd ever need. And she did a lot of that with, Scott Rogowski, and there were a ton of that was really fun, fun kind of opportunity, and something you can still continue on in this space. And then there were plenty of folks who are like, we love this idea, we just don't want to run it. And that's when we have solutions for that as well. But the trivia packages can come in general trivia, right? Yep. Or theme trivia. Jason, what are some of your favorite themes that your team has written?
So, I like Beyonce. I learned, and I thought I knew a lot about Beyonce, but I even learned so much more about Queen Bee. But
we're birthday buddies, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I need to send both of you a card.
Please, thanks.
Yeah, no. Well, we do Disney, Pixar. Those are really popular. Marvel's super popular. The Office, Harry Potter, and we have like 4 or 5 sets of Marvel, and we have the same with Harry Potter. So the real popular ones you could request over and over again, and you're going to get different content every time as well.
And we do. That was a conversation I just had with a school this morning actually about, we had Marvel trivia last August. We want to have it again this August. No problem. We can do that. And we track that too. So
you
don't
we
have
know
to
what, we're like the NSA. So we know what you've been doing. We also have a lot of cultural programming. So we have like Black History Month and anti-racist platform, and we're constantly creating new stuff. We just rolled out an Earth Day this past year. There's been a high demand for that, and we're looking at other cultural and other programming like that, educational programming.
Yeah, and shout out to Nick Freeland if he's watching. I know he's been with us the previous days this week, but he just booked. He's a part of a community college system, and they just booked all four Black History Month trivias to happen every week in February of 2022. So it's definitely an easy and accessible thing. And then you can use all the energy that you were using writing content and editing answers and things like that to promote the event, or try engaging with a different audience on campus, things like that. So, and we're talking hundreds of dollars, not thousands. This is really, really, really affordable. We have some bulk pricing available and package deals as well. So I'm always happy to ask any questions. And also, if you have themes, or if you want, a lot of times people have a custom round for their university for homecoming. Your team does all of that, right?
We can do that for sure.
I remember, July 1 last year was a big day in my home because that's when Hamilton was released on Disney Plus. And shortly after that, we had someone ask for Hamilton trivia, and I know you and your team hadn't seen it yet. And then you watched it and you're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, I've been singing all the songs.
It's so great. I know. Yeah. That king, he's the best. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All of it's so good. So you can check more out on our website at College Trivia Nerds, on the Rebelle site. And if you have questions, or even if you want a free demo, hit me up. We will I can walk you through exactly how it works. I have a sample I can send you. I mean, however I can show it to you. I'm happy to do one-on-one with just you or with your entire board. Absolutely no pressure to buy by any means, but it is definitely a fun thing to kind of to see. And you don't take it easy either. They're tricky.
They're good.
Tricky questions. Yeah.
Trivia is easy when you know the answers, though, right, Melissa?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Fair enough.
Anyway,
fair enough. So another program that your team has created is called CitySolve U. Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, this is what I offer when people say, hey, Mel, do you have a scavenger hunt type of an event? And I know for liability reasons, we don't want to call it a scavenger hunt, but you definitely took like the best parts of trivia and combined it with what might be like the Amazing Race, right?
Yeah, there was actually the first program that we ever created back in 2005. And we've harnessed it into this public event, created team building, and then our last thing that we created was to do on-campus events, and
I love it.
And yeah, it's been a spectacular thing. It's a way to kind of get to know the university and get to know your fellow people.
Well, let's show a quick explainer video.
Introducing CitySolve U, a campus-wide, fully customized adventure game. It's like the Amazing Race meets Trivial Pursuit, where teams solve clever clues and face a series of fun challenges. The whole experience can take place on or off campus and last 2 to 3 hours. We do all the heavy lifting, so you have a memorable event with maximum fun and minimal effort. Here's how it works. To get started, we'll send you an invitation to Google Maps. Together, we identified 10 locations, a start and a finish. Next, CitySolve creates the entire experience from scratch, fully tailored to your university. We write all the clues, rules, and instructions for each part of the experience, and you have final approval over everything. Once approved, CitySolve will train your entire team on how to facilitate the event during a 30-minute conference call. On event day, your team will staff and execute it from start to finish. To keep it simple and affordable, CitySolve isn't on site, but you can always contact us if you need help along the way. Best of all, when you book your next event with CitySolve, the price is cut in half. So, go ahead, create a fun, affordable experience students will love and remember for years to come with CitySolve U.
Right. It's a little extra flair at the end.
I love the more you know kind of thing that comes up at the end.
It is. So CitySolve U is a kind of a rain or shine all year round event. And that, I think, to me is, I'm an outside person, so I love that idea of getting a team of people together to go explore together. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite checkpoints along the way for schools to find?
Well, I don't know if I have favorites, but we have, I mean, it can be definitely custom to what you want the students to see. If it's going to be orientation or SIB weekend or parent weekend, I mean, all those locations could be completely different based on what you want them to discover. So it can be on campus, off campus, both. You just let us know what we give you. We go and select locations that we think are the best. You approve it, then we go and write the clues, and then you run the event. It's really super easy, super simple, and you get some ownership of the event on the day of without having to figure out how to do it. So
right.
Yeah.
And you can create a virtual component for this, and I know we did a lot of those last year. But in its nature, now that the more we know about all of this, it is in its. I mean, it's outdoors. It can be distance. It doesn't need to be people packed in by any means. It's definitely an event that takes up space.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if your school is still a little leery about events being too packed in, and we definitely have solutions to make it so we can still have hundreds of students participating, but maybe not all at once. And so we have a lot of things that we've done even before COVID, and then we've just implemented during COVID.
Right,
for sure.
right.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many fun ways to use that homegrown event energy too with this too. People will have costume contests, or teams are dressed up in themes.
Homecoming, having it be one of the challenges where you get points, or however your school does for homecoming is a huge one for what you just talked about, Melissa. Yeah. Right. So that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lots of fun. Well, thank you so much, Jason. Is there anything else that you want us to know or highlight about College Trivia Nerds or CitySolve U?
I think you've covered most of it. I'll probably think of a couple things when we leave.
Yep, that's how that goes.
Yeah, right. No. I think most people hopefully get it, and we'd love to come and be on campus. I do have a Vax card, even though I don't need to come on campus. I thought I'd show that just as proof. But yeah, we'll never be on campus, and it makes it even more affordable because we're not.
It is a very affordable event. I do appreciate how you created both of these products really with the, they're both very budget sensitive,
for sure.
high engagement events for sure. Well, for Jason, enjoy your Friday and your weekend, and happy Father's Day to you.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And that's it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate it.
See you later. So that is that. Not all of the artists on our roster, but it does complete our showcase for this week. I have had so much fun spending time with you. Until I can see you all face to face again at a conference or at an actual show. Oh, what a life we live. Thrilled to be here. I love every day what I do and who I do it with, and you watching are absolutely a part of that too. So thank you so much for joining us. Please, as you're noodling on programming and you have questions, please reach out. We can Zoom, we can email, we can phone talk, we can text, we can do anything. Pick your poison. And with that, I picked a number out of my random list here at the beginning. I picked number 111. So let me just scroll my attendee list for those who registered. Okay. And the winner is Kelly Janos from Salem State University. Kelly, hooray, hooray. I wish I had a confetti cannon. Woohoo! What a great way to end the week. So Kelly, I'll email you so that we can get you your gift card. And to anyone else watching, I really appreciate you spending the time with us and getting to know us. And I'd love to tell you more about others on the roster too, depending on what you might be looking for. So with that, happy Juneteenth to all of you. And happy Father's Day to all of you dads, uncles, brothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, moms, whoever has ever served as a father role. So with that, I wish you all a safe and very happy weekend. Thank you so much.